everybody, you're watching Cole the Cornstar. Don't forget guys, if you enjoy our content and you want to help support the channel, the best thing you can do is hit the thumbs up button. Today is the day. Today we're gonna get the porch clean. It's just getting to be ridiculous. Okay, now we have all these poles. Made quick work of that. I'm sorry guys, I should probably introduce myself. If you're new to the channel, my name is Cole, and this is my 1917 farm mansion. It's kind of in a quick nutshell. My yard used to pretty much look like this, and now most of it looks like this. And my house, well, it used to look like this, and now it looks like this. We have a lot of projects, and we're plugging away at them every single day. Before we know it, this side is gonna be sided, and there's also gonna be a wraparound porch on this side. It's gonna look good. But they're talking rain later today, so we're not gonna be doing any construction stuff, but we can get this porch cleaned off. And later this week, we're gonna get that siding off. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to address this. Several people have been asking if we're going to address the fish scales. My primary concerns right now are the siding and the porch. So once those are done, we will be redoing those areas. But as for those half moon windows, I really like them. They're cool. But they're also single pane. They let a ton of cold air in. And replacing those with new custom windows is expensive. But when we get there, we'll figure it out.
Oh, look at that. Ariat boots. I'm gonna get me a pair of them ordered because I need some new Ariat boots. My old Ariat boots, I've had them, I bet 5 years. They've been great boots, but it's time for me to get some new Ariat boots. These are Cole's Ariat boots. Neva's boots that she wore through the beans are Ariat boots. We got a lot of Ariat boots. I tell you what, they are the most comfortable of boots, and they make the insides where they don't fall apart. Ooh. What I'm doing today, I am running around to some of the cemeteries. We had a few with all these rains a couple weeks ago. We have a bunch of graves that actually settled a lot, meaning the dirt is starting to go back down into where it's supposed to be, which this isn't uncommon because when you put the vault into the hole, there's usually a couple inches around the whole thing. Well, when you're putting the dirt back in the hole, it's really hard to get dirt all the way down in them tight little holes. So I'm going around to some cemeteries today. I know there's a few that I need to touch up and I want to get it done. They're talking rain maybe tonight and tomorrow. The old dirt's really mellow today. We'll get her raked in and see what we got. Kind of debating if I should pack it in and then put a new layer on top. We're pretty soft in the corners yet. That's what we'll do. This certain grave here, it was really wet when we did this grave and I just untied my shoe. So we did not pack it in when we filled it in because it was so wet, it was like soup. When we drive on a grave like we just did, we do not do it to be disrespectful to the family or anything. We're just trying to get the dirt packed down. Otherwise, if we did not pack the dirt back in, every time we got a rain, it would just keep sinking. We'd be out here 50 times and we don't want to do that. We try to do everything as best as we can to get it back to the natural state as quick as we can. Sometimes it's hard to know how much dirt to put on it, but it's easier to put too much on it and remove it than not enough, but it usually takes a pretty good amount. This dirt is really nice and mellow. That's why I'm trying to be out here today before it rains. We always try to take the top and leave it flat when we're raking it. If you curve it on a curve, then when it rains, the water runs right off. But if you got it flat, the water will actually help settle it quicker, because it's pushing the whole thing down. We do sprinkle just a little bit of oats in with ours. It kind of helps shade in the grass a little quicker. We don't put a lot, but just a little bit with the grass seed. We're gonna get loaded up. We gotta make another journey to another cemetery. We're getting some good sinkage. This dirt here is not quite as nice as the last cemetery we're at, but it's still workable. Always keep the skid loader parked by, so if you get some wet clumps or something, you can just dispose of them. We know it's a touchy time when you lose a loved one. It is for all of us, and it's natural. So we just like to try to get things back, so when the families come out, they're not worried about them little things that we should be doing It just makes it nice. They can come out, they know that we're taking care of things. It just makes you feel better when you go home at night. You sleep good knowing you were doing your best.
There, we got the bulk of the stuff piled up in a nice pile. I'll be able to grab the skid loader, just put it right under here and just push it into the bucket. I'm gonna finish pulling off this old felt paper, and I also have a few nails here in the wall that I need to pull. We wanna make sure that the wall is nice and smooth before we put our vapor barrier on, because we don't wanna accidentally poke a hole in it. It's always important to remember, we can't do jobs like this without handy dandy tools like our trusty hammer and our pry bar. Now I just have felt paper to pick up. My tummy's starting to growl on me, so I'm gonna go in and eat lunch. When we come back out, if it's raining, we're gonna do stuff in the house. If it's not, I guess we'll see.
This dirt here is not the best, but I'm hoping I get some good dirt for the very, very top. All right, let's see what we can do here. Need a machine with a window in it. Today the wind is blowing across pretty strong. Dust and dirt is blowing right in my face. I'm stepping in one of the bean fields by a cemetery here. Look how dry it is. The ground is really starting to crack. One thing about cemetery work, you're never done. You think you got one covered and seated and looking good and it might settle. Then you got a couple other ones somewhere that settles. We know that with this job and it's part of the job. So like I said, we try our hardest to stay ahead of the game. And this is one of them jobs. We are out in every element. Snow, cold, wind, ice. If there's a funeral coming up and it's raining and stuff, we just got to go out and do it. Sometimes it gets to be miserable, mainly in the winter when the snow is blowing so hard and you can't see. Hey Cole, are these Ariat?
You tell me.
Yes, they are.
Cleanup time.
All right, looks like we're gonna call it a day here pretty quick. I'm gonna go home and eat some dinner, and it sounds like Cooper might be playing at a slow pitch game tonight, so I want to go see him if it don't rain, but it looks like rain.
Well, it rained for about 3 minutes, but it did cool down. Oh yeah, and the porch is clean. I did put my jeans on, because I'm gonna crawl up on that ladder and I'm gonna start taking down this softening. Now the method of standing on the ladder with the pry bar is working, but I'm not really a big fan of all the dust and stuff falling in my face. I got an idea. Here we go. And then we can get out of the dust. I'm taking my time on this one because that insulation dust isn't anything you want to mess with. Now, I would have a mask on, but the wind's blowing it that way, so I'm in fresh air right here. We got one little chunk done. I'd say that's 10% of the softening. Now they didn't originally put insulation above this softening. Some critters must have got up in there and then they pulled it out of the holes in the wall. So I'm hoping the entire thing isn't like that. Now I have to be careful over here because this is rotten. Ooh, that one was a laser. Now come to find out, up there in that corner where I just had my head poked up there, apparently there's a raccoon sleeping. Hey buddy, you're not gonna be very happy at me, but I'm kicking you out. This is your last notice. Laser. Woo! Another laser. Should have made a bow and arrow out of that board. Ouchie! That was right off my thumb. So far I've only had a handful of boards that had insulation above them. The other ones are just dusty. I've had my mouth open quite a bit. It's full of dust. Now normally I don't like quitting until it's dark, but I'm starting to run into some boards that are really dusty and dirty. I don't have a mask on, I don't want to be breathing that. And also my Pit Viper sunglasses are Z87 plus rated, so these are my safety glasses. The sun is starting to go down now, so it actually is getting kind of hard to see in these. I'd say we got about half of the softening off. Maybe not quite that, but we're making a dent.